welcome back to Stephanie Plans and Reads. On this channel, I like to talk all things planners. As you can see, I have a lot of planners here to talk about. I post once a week, usually on a Sunday. We're building quite a little community here. We've got about 175 subscribers. So if you like planning, if you like talking about planners, and you think you might be interested in sticking around, please hit the subscribe button. And yeah, let's get into it. You may be able to see, before I get started, a little visitor from my cat, Zeus. I film right in front of the window that he likes to look out of. And he's eating some tabs on my planners. So yeah, he'll probably be in and out as we go along. So today I wanted to talk about some of my planners, and to kind of help you. We're getting into the planner season where people are picking their planners for the second half of the year. Maybe they're doing an academic planner, maybe they're just doing the July Start Erin Condren, or thinking about it anyway. And so I just wanted to go through some of my planners that I've loved and left, and talk a little bit about why I did that, what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, and then maybe that will give you an idea of what you want to do for your planners moving forward. So I've got a huge stack here and a little bit more on the side. I'm going to start with the stuff that I started with. Like, I'm going to try and go chronologically, and then kind of explain the good, bad, and ugly of each one. So I'm just going to set the stack over. This is the first stack I'll be talking about. So this is the Passion Planner. It comes in 3 sizes, and I have had all 3 sizes. These are, I probably was in them for a while. I think this was my first kind of, expensive planner, I guess I would say. I was in things from, Target or Walmart. So this would be my first, big planner purchases, I guess. And this is the first one I purchased. This is the, I think at this point it only came in the big. And the reason why I liked it, I'm going to go to a page that's already marked that I knew it was okay for me to show. So the reason why I like this planner, sorry, I'm trying to not get us so much sunlight, but yeah. So the reason why I like this planner is because it had the times and it was vertical. So at that point, that's the kind of thing I was looking for. I needed timed. I was having, it doesn't look like it at this point, but I was having classes and wanted to have something that was, had hourly times for me. The paper is really quite thick, so it was really great for anything you wanted to do with it. But at this point, you can see I wasn't really doing all that much in terms of deco. So I really like the time, and obviously this was quite big for me. But at the point that this was the only size they had, they since, as I'm going to show you, gone to smaller sizes. So I knew that the size was too big. But it really did, serve the function that I needed it to. I did find this planner, and I'll show you with some of the smaller ones. So I went to the very small one, because I think, again, it only came in 2 different sizes. So I went to this one. And I liked this size better, but the columns then, they were in half-hour slots. I'm going to put it up a little bit for you so you can see. So they were in half-hour slots. And so the lines were really, really thin. But I found these planners good for time blocking. This is the next size. And I think this was the size that was most kind of, I don't know, good for me. But the problem you know, I had a couple of problems with this. One was that it was a bit too prescriptive. Now you can get stickers, like see what I've done here is I put some stickers around different things when I didn't want to use the space for what they asked of it. But as you can see, like on, I'll show you on the bigger one because this is one that was hardly ever anything written on here. So you can see that they're quite prescriptive about what you do in each one. And if I didn't want to like decorate, but I would feel like I needed to put whatever was in, and it's even like to the point where on the side when it's like a personal to-do list here, but then it has top priority, and errands on the side. It was just too prescriptive. And I found myself being swayed by other layouts. So things that maybe were a little less prescriptive, had more space. So this, because of these blocks down here, the timed spaces were quite jammed in. So that's why I moved. But for what this planner is, it was really great. So I liked this. I like the feel of it. I love bound planners, and we'll get back to that. They really are my kind of happy place. And you know, for the price point, they're pretty good, I think. I haven't bought them in a couple of years because I've moved on to other things. But I liked them for what they were, and especially if you're using them as pen and paper, maybe highlighter, and you really have a lot of things to do, like timed events, but also like tasks that need to be broken down between work and home, that this might be a good option for you. As I said, I've moved on to other things, and we'll talk about those, but there's all these planners that I'm going to show you today. There's really nothing wrong with them. They're just, personal preference. And I'm showing you this because some people, might want a kind of timed vertical layout in a bound planner, but don't want the Tomoe River paper. And this would be an excellent option. Okay, so the next one I moved into was the Plum Paper. So I have the thing about Plum Paper, they're a coiled planner. They've got different covers, but one of the things that's great about Plum Paper is you can pretty much customize anything. So when I moved into Plum Paper, oh gosh, I think it's going to be, this one is the first one that I moved into. Yeah. Okay. So when I moved into Plum Paper, I went with this layout, which is, their vertical priorities in the 7x9 size. So the columns are a little bit bigger than the 1.5, so you can fit pretty much any sticker kit in here. I was using some Happy Planner stickers, but they have the habit tracker built in, and I thought that was something I really wanted. Has a bit of a spot here for you to put stickers, and then you can customize these boxes. So I had priorities and reminders, and then at the bottom, you can customize these two, and I put in reading, and that kind of continues. Things that are great about this planner, I do like the convenience of a spiral notebook. It's so easy to turn the pages, everything lays flat. I like that. I didn't love the paper. The paper's, and this is, it's a very kind of less toothy paper, I'd say. So it's quite soft, smooth. And I hated, I don't know if I can show you any of these, but I hate this. So this, this dashboard, I don't like it that it's on this paper. I rarely use this. I didn't find it functional. And they also include, it's got pocket, it's really nice. But this these cover situations, these covers always kind of pulled apart on me. So you can see it here, maybe if I pull it up closer, so you can see it there, it pulls apart on me. So, and that could be just because I'm hard on my planners, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I think this is really great if you're really into tracking, want to use this a pre-printed tracker and also like the spiral. And, you know, want to be able to customize it as much as you can. And you can also customize like when you get it and how long you get the planner for. So I got another one here to show you. I think I've had 3 or 4 Plum Papers. This one, I got the, I think it's called an me plan, I don't know, but you can customize. So it's kind of like a teacher planner, and then you can customize what goes on the sides here. So each square can be a different kind of segment of your life. This planner I really liked. I like having it divided. I got into it really quickly in terms of like the function of the layout of it. The things, again, that I still didn't like. So I didn't like the kind of dashboardy pages. This one was the goals, so I had the goals page in there. And I also didn't, the paper is not my favorite, but everything else about this was good. Again, as you can see here, I've done that again. So I really like this planner. I didn't finish this planner because I moved into the next planner that I'll show you, precisely because I think of the paper and the dashboard. But these are much more affordable than some other customizable brands. So if you're into needing something to be really customizable, this might be what works for you. Another customizable option is the Happy Planner. These are customizable because of the kind of Franken planning phenomenon. So if you don't know what Franken planning is, it's basically just tearing apart different planners like here and putting them together the way that you want. And you can do that because of the disc system. I hate discs only because I find them quite like bulky. And I stayed in this Happy Planner the whole year, but I wasn't using it for planning. So I was using it for a reading journal. And it works perfectly for that. And this was the horizontal layout. And so each week I would write something about what I was reading, if I finished a book, things like that. And I did this during COVID, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So it worked out really well. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I only did the year in here, maybe a little bit less, because then I started working and I didn't have time to keep it up. I think maybe I did a year and a bit. So yeah, but they're totally customizable because you can take your page off, put a page in, fairly easy. And they have different layouts as well. So this is the dashboard layout, but it's kind of in the recovery. This is a regular dashboard. I've just put all of them together here, my bits. They're just a bit too colorful for what I want. Again, I find them kind of prescriptive, having only this part is the week and this part is all your bits, and there's hardly any place to write in here. I wanted to go back to a planner that had section, more like a teacher planner. This just never really worked for me. It is too colorful. It asks me too many things. But I think I was drawn to it because it is a beautiful planner, and the dashboards or the tabs here are quite lovely. And they've got some good messaging on them. But this is great if you have you have a budget planner, you have a reading planner, you have cleaning, you have, a whole bunch of things, and you want it all housed in one thing. And the discs will really let you. And these are just regular discs that you can get expander discs, but you can also just put a couple of months at a time and rotate out. These covers are also interchangeable. So a lot of people like that. I mean, the Happy Planner community is pretty large. I'm not sure if they're as big as they once were, but there's so many people on YouTube doing videos about Happy Planner and planning with Happy Planner. So there's lots to see. So you probably, have seen these before. But for me, I felt the coil was too bulky. It was too much color. And I liked having in one way I liked having it more structured. So having like the sections for, work, prep, reading, but also I didn't want to be prescribed what to put in each section. So it's a bit of a contradiction there, but planners are unique to the people that have them. So then I moved into the Erin Condren. This is the, what is it? The one that teacher lesson planner, but it's the one that is not the life planner, but they have another kind of range. And I absolutely love this planner. I haven't gone through here and found you a page, but I'll just look at a regular page. Okay, so this is I'm gonna actually move you in a little bit closer because I think we're a little bit further away than we need to be. Maybe a little bit more. I might cut this out. There you go. Okay, so this is the life planner, or not the life planner, the other one. And it's a teacher planner, and essentially it's got the days this side, Monday to Friday, because teachers don't work Saturday and Sunday. And then it's got room for 7 columns. So what I done was I white these out and I put the days at the top. And I'm going to see if I have one that's to show you as an example. Okay, well here's one that's kind of started, but I never finished it up. So you can see how I've got the days there. And then I would just, use the top for like appointments, the middle one for classes, the next one for things I needed to prep, the bottom was for reading, stuff like that. And I really love this. I love the thing about Erin Condren, and everyone talks about it, is the paper. It's like toothy and thick, but not too thick. And it's, yeah. I mean, I would easily go back into an Erin Condren my heart is where it is now, but there's something about, because the coil still, it's not my favorite. There's something, it's easy to move things on a coil, which is really great. But when you're writing, it seems to always be in the way. Even if you go like this, you get to here and it's a bit, but I love that you can customize, your covers. People are always pulling them, and there are different kinds. So the life planners, you can get weekly planners that are lined, like columns. You can get hourly, you can get horizontal. So again, there's a lot of customizability with this. And one of the great things about Erin Condren's new kind of things is that they had made this range called Canvas, which is mainly neutral. And I think a lot of people really enjoy that. And I would have, I got an hourly life planner that was neutral, but I haven't used it primarily because I'm using other things. So I was in this one and really liking it. And right before I moved into this one, I had seen, or maybe before I moved into Plum Paper, I had seen talk about the Cousin, and I had seen people use it. And finally, I just decided I needed to get it. So I was, there's nothing really wrong with this one. I was content. I was quite happy. I liked using my sticker kits. I mean, there's just an example there. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. However, I wanted to try this. And once I did, and was, you know, with the Tomoe River paper, I just couldn't really leave it. So I like the size. I like that this is A5. This is columns. Full columns. They go from pretty much 24 hours. It is, let's see if I can find you a blank one. I don't think I have a blank week, but basically it's a clean slate. And so you can make it what you want. So I've kind of put a line here so I could have my section of reading. I did some tracking here. I can decorate. I can also block these off so that I can have different sections. But I just fell in love with the paper and the fluffiness and the fact that your planner gets like nice and fluffy and the feel of it. I wouldn't go back. I keep getting pulled into Erin Condren because everything about this is great, but it doesn't have the Tomoe River paper, and so I keep going to here. Another great thing about this, and I was using it quite extensively. I've got a lot of tabs here you can see because I have shown this before, but here, for example, so you can decorate. This is day, daily, weekly, yearly, everything. I can decorate this. I like experimenting with designs, and the day per page worked out really well. I added tabs, and I think I talked about this in my video about what would I do differently for 2024. I didn't put tabs on anything else. So I'll link that video if you're interested. You can check that out. But yeah, I really just loved the Tomoe River paper. And so I wanted to continue in the Cousin. I also got an A6. This is where I put, practiced my hand lettering. I also kind of wrote some quotes, loosely decorated, but I also tabbed that. And there's also the week's size, which I haven't really used this one very much. But you can see the different color, different paper. I'm not, this is a cream and this is more of a white, and this one is the white as well. So I prefer the whiter Tomoe River paper over the cream. So I've found planner piece, you say, because I love the Tomoe River paper and it's lovely. Yes. However, there are things about the Cousin that I didn't like. For example, I didn't like the colors. So this is a good example. So you get red for every Sunday. Saturday is kind of grayed out. The rest of the weeks don't have color. Then the color changes every month here. So you can see like that's green, purple. Anyway, and I also didn't like, let's see if I can show you this. So there's always a quote at the bottom and takes up a bit of space. So I didn't like that. I already told you that I didn't like the cream paper here. It also has the quotes at the bottom, which I don't like. And I especially don't like the fact that this side doesn't have the grid. So there's grid on this side, but there's no grid on that side. And that my writing was all messy. So that moves us on to this one, which is my current. And it basically has everything I am looking for in a planner. And when I think about moving to a different planner, trying a different planner out, I just try to remind myself that this is what I'm looking for. So it's the Sterling Ink Common Planner. This is the A5, but all of their planners are essentially the same on the inside, except for depending, if you get the vertical, except for the Weeks has a slightly different design, but I'll talk about that in a second. So it's bound, which is my favorite. It has Tomoe River paper, which I've talked about that I love. It has weeklies that are not prescribed to me, so I can set them up the way I want to. Here I've got a to-do list at the bottom, to-do list, but I've also used the bottom for gratitude. I can use the sidebar the way I want, so I like that it's not prescriptive. I like that it has yearly, weekly, or yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily pages. I'll talk about the dailies in a second. And I also like it that it incorporates some pages at the front that you can use for goal setting and other things. What's great about the daily pages is they are blank. Now this is great and potentially bad. So I got the one that has like a billion roughly pages at the back. So I have more than enough for a day per page, but I've been dividing them up into 2 pages per day. So I have, or 2 days per page. So I have tons of room. But you can do whatever you want in this back. You can, set them up as dailies, daily tasks, daily gratitude, daily journaling. You can put lists. I have like swatches in here. I have lists of things like I want to buy, the want list. I have things that I should keep on my grocery list or on hand all the time. So you can basically do what you want. And sometimes this is a little intimidating because it's a whole A5 blank page, but I really, really love it. And again, I love the feel. It's chunking up a little bit. It's doing a little chunk, which is nice. These stickers aren't stuck down. I stuck them down with washi tape so I can take the stickers off if I want. It's just, yeah, pretty much perfection. The only thing I'll say is that I have an A5. Maybe I should have gotten a B6. It's a little big, and I got it because I was in the Cousin A5. But if you look at like the pages, see if I can find you a blank daily here, because I didn't use okay, so there's a blank daily in the Cousin. And then you can see that because the Cousin kind of ends there because of the quote, and then it has the date at the top. So you might be only using like that much of the page. So you'd be cutting off like this much of the page here, which means that the B6 might have been a good enough size for me, especially because I'm currently unemployed. So I'm not needing to write a whole bunch of work stuff in. They also do, Sterling Ink does, let's see if I remember them all. So they do an A5, a B6, an A6, Weeks, a TN, standard size, Passport. Is that everything? Do they do anything else? So they do, and they're all basically the same format. The thing with the Sterling Ink week size, which I also have as my reading planner, you might have seen, is that they do carry on the grid onto this other side, which is crucial for me to be able to write straight. Otherwise, this would look like a hot mess. And actually, I might be able to show you an example of it looking like a hot mess. Because I just can't seem to... Well, there's not much I've written there, but yeah, I don't like it. Let's leave it at that. So yeah, so these are some of the planners that I've used. I think one of the things that you want to ask yourself is how, basically what kind of paper do I want and what kind of binding do I want? If you hate the discs, if you hate the spiral and you are 100% a book-bound person, you're not going to vibe with these ones. If you are a spiral person, Plum Paper, there's lots of spirals, Plum Paper and Erin Condren, I think would probably be the best that I've used. And if you are a disc person, there are many options on the market, and you can even get some of these ones in disc form, or rings, which is another planner that I haven't talked about. I do not use rings. I've never used rings. I don't like rings. I hate rings. So I just don't like the, you know, like when you're putting the binder clips in together. I don't like that. I don't like that. And plus they've got all the problems of the spiral, I think, and no benefits. I guess the benefits of a disc, but no, they're not for me. Bound's where it's at. So when I'm looking at my planners in, you know, the fall and talking about which planners I'm going to be using for 2025, if I don't mention this planner and I go off piste into something completely different, you can call me on it and tell me to go back and look at my my own video. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that helped a little bit. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.